Hey guys, what's going on? Kyle Krieger here. Welcome back to my channel. So right here behind me is Tuba, my Airstream that I just recently bought that I had been making a couple videos with, which you probably have seen. If not, this is it. So today I'm going to talk about, or I'm going to show you how I'm going to polish Tuba and demonstrate because I've never polished anything before, but yeah, I just thought I'd make a video about it because it's very labor intensive and very interesting, and like it's one of the things in Airstream like culture, whether or not you should polish or not polish your Airstream. I decided that I want mine to look like Captain Phasma, so I'm definitely going to polish mine. Right now she looks a little dusty, but we're going to turn around her with a little bit of a grinder, and we're going to polish out this like dusty look, and she's going to be so pristine and beautiful. Okay, so yeah, let's get started. So polishing an Airstream, I learned, is very simple. However, it's challenging, labor intensive, it takes a long time, and you also need a lot of tools that I didn't necessarily have, so I had to watch a lot of YouTube videos on it. This is the tool I had to buy to polish. It's an angle grinder, and this is the disc that goes on this. Obviously you're not putting this Velcro onto the Airstream. You are putting this wool pad that goes on top of the disc right here, and this wool pad is what kind of breaks through the oxidation on the aluminum. In addition to using the wool pad and the angle grinder, you have to buy compound. So compound is a product that you put onto the wool pad that breaks down the oxidation on the trailer. After 50 years of sitting outside, you know, the aluminum looks like this, and eventually when we're done, all of this oxidation will be gone with the different grades of polish that we're using, and eventually it will look like just extremely shiny metal. A whole Airstream completely polished is like one of those things that you see going down the street and you're just like, holy crap, like that is just like incredible. So we're gonna be using this Nuvite today. So Nuvite is a product that I found online. It's what like airlines use to polish and clean the airplanes and the aluminum on the airplanes. So it's also used for Airstreams as well. You can only buy it online. You kind of have to like search for it a little bit. It has different grades depending on the type of oxidation that you have. So I'm going from like a really tough grade, and then we're going to work our way down to this level. And like as we work down, the granules in the compound change. I don't really know all the details about the science behind it, but I just know like the basics. It's going to demonstrate a nice little square here because it takes so long. I don't want to do the whole trailer. I have this product here called Mineral Spirits. This Mineral Spirits is a cleaning product basically, and it kind of gets off all of the dirt that you have on the trailer just to make sure that when you're cleaning, you have like a nice fresh start. There's also some Airstreams after 1968, I think, they started adding a plasticoat to the Airstream. So if you are actually planning on polishing Airstream, you have to make sure you get the plasticoat off first. And you can do that with a paint stripper. There's lots of different forums online that talk about using different levels of paint stripper, but I just use a plain old simple stripper, and the plastic coat came off great, and I used a power washer to get it off. It's a really messy process, but you have to do it, otherwise the polishing won't work. You can see I just put like a little bit. You don't need that much polish because too much polish is just too much work to get off eventually. You just need like little fingers, like every 6 inches or so. So you put the polish onto the aluminum directly. I'm starting with F7, and now I'm just going to use, you know, circular motions to sort of go in this kind of direction. This angle grinder goes up to 3,000 RPMs, but I'm using just 1,000. You're not supposed to go, because the aluminum is like sort of delicate, you're not supposed to go above 1,000 RPMs. Usually the best, I think, as I read online, is like between 800 and 1,000. So I'm going to be using 1,000. Okay, so as you can see, I have now, I have the polish that was on the aluminum, and I've sort of spread it over my area, right, as evenly as possible. So now I've gone across and I've gone a little bit up and down. I'm just going to continue to do that until, well, until you can start to see yourself in the reflection. And another tip that I found that is really helpful is instead of having the pad flat against the surface, what I find helpful is if you if you use kind of like an angle and you sort of tip the pad onto the metal at an angle rather than flat. After a while, you can see that my brand new pad has the polish all over it, and that's where this tool comes in handy. It just kind of breaks up the polish when it gets on the wool thing. You just give a little bit of spin on the spur and boom, she's back to normal. So as you can see, these little like black marks here, that is, if you put too much polish on, that's sort of what happens, and then the polish kind of gets into the cracks that are there. So you just have to keep like working it, and that's why it's important not to put too much on and kind of find that perfect cocktail of how much polish is enough and what's too much. And sometimes, because I'm a beginner, it takes me a second, but generally you just have to kind of keep going over it. I'm going to use the mineral spirits again to spray and kind of clean off all the residue from the first compound. So basically, after one round of polish on F7, this is what it looks like, and compared to sort of what it was before. So as you can see, it's a pretty big difference. And now, just wait after we do the next level, it's like night and day. It's so cool. So I just did another quick round of the first compound, and as you can see, even when you do it a second time, like the more and more you go over it, it just gets more and more like a mirror. So this is a perfect level for me to take off this pad and get a brand new pad and move to the next compound. Okay guys, so now I'm moving on to Nushine level C. That is like one grade down, so that's gonna take this finish and make it even more shiny and clear and like more of a mirror. So it's the next level down. The last product is gray, this one's white. I don't really know the difference, but I'm just gonna go ahead and do the same as I did last time and put my polish on here. Just little dabs. Even though this polish is like the grade down, for some reason it feels a little bit more like sandy. I can actually feel the grain in here. I don't know why that makes a difference, but when you move on to a new compound, you have to make sure that you switch out your pad to a brand new pad. This one obviously doesn't look brand new, but you can wash them and the compound comes out. And as you can see here, there's nothing on this one, which is exactly how you want to move on. And I'm still going to use like the same sort of direction that I used last time. I'm still going to kind of smear the compound all over the Airstream, and then I will kind of go in at an angle to kind of fine tune everything. There is a third step of Airstream polishing, and you have to use this orbital tool, this like dual orbital tool. It's called a Cyclone or something, Cyclo, I don't know. I don't have that tool. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do the third level, but I mean, I would like to. I just have to rent it or something. I feel like the grinder kind of gets me a really great finish. I mean, look, this is what we just did. It took me maybe 30 minutes. This is what it was before, obviously, and it's just such a shocking comparison. It's amazing. And like, to think about the trailer looking like this all the way around is just like stunning. I'm just so excited. Basically, I'm gonna keep working until it's dark, and I just wanted to show you guys kind of like what I would be doing. If you have any questions, you can ask in the comments below. I don't really know that much, but there is tons of information on forums and everything. So you can also dive into forums, on Airstream forums about polishing. There's tons of great other videos on YouTube about polishing. Everybody has like their own little like tips and tricks that they give. So I highly recommend you looking at other videos. That's how I learned to do it. So anyway, it's so fun, it's so great. These things weigh like 5 to 7 pounds. So if you are going to shop for one to polish your own Airstream, try to aim for one that's a little bit lighter, maybe like closer to 4 or 5 pounds, because it does get so heavy, especially when you're kind of going high. Make sure you also pick up gloves, pads. I usually wear a mask, but I didn't wear a mask today because I was going to be talking to camera. You don't want to inhale all of the polish in the compound either, because it's not great for you. But because I was just doing this little section, I thought it would be fine. There's also dedicated websites where you can find the polish. I would recommend that you kind of look around, because a lot of these vintage Airstream places maybe hike up the price a little bit. And if I did a little bit of digging, I found it for much cheaper. So highly suggest you do that. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so excited to show you when tuba is completely done. I'll make sure I put up another video. If you want to follow like my journey with tuba, I have an Instagram for her. It's called Tiny Tuba Trooper. And also you can follow me on Instagram too at Kyle Krieger, and I'll be posting kind of updates about tuba and about the renovation progress. Lots of really fun stuff coming up. So I'm excited. So yeah, make sure to give us a follow, like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.